Hi everyone and welcome to a holiday video. Yes, this past week we've been lucky enough to stay right down the south coast of England. In fact, right in Torquay. And we've been staying just behind the harbour over there. The exotic plant in this area really is just next level. As you're probably aware, the south coast of England is one of the most sheltered parts of the country. And although the summer temperatures can often be mild, the same applies in winter as well. Meaning that the hard frosts that can often hit us up in the north of the country don't even factor in here. In fact, the winter temperatures rarely drop much below freezing, and certainly not really below -3 or so, which really opens the door to some incredible exotic planting. You just get a little taste of this behind me. But today, in what is probably my geekiest video yet, I want to share with you some of the coolest planting just growing on the seafront here, right near where we're staying. It really is just next level. Some huge palms, amazing exotics, and some plants that grow here like weeds, which we'd certainly struggle to at home. So let's get going around. For someone who doesn't like filming videos in public, talking in front of people, this might be a bit of a challenge, but let's just go for it. It's a beautiful evening, the sun is shining, so let's get on with it. Starting things off then, just as the sun's going down, we've got this sensational island bed here, which shows a fair few of the plants you'll see repeated throughout this video. There's some even more incredible examples coming up. Obviously we've got some old Trachycarpus here, some looking a bit tatty, other venerable old specimens, but for me, there's a few plants in this bed that really stand out. Firstly, we've got this incredible Chamaerops humilis, the Mediterranean Dwarf Fan Palm. As you can see, it's a suckering palm, so unlike the Trachycarpus, which actually have one trunk, these have got a multitude of trunks, and this one's obviously some age, because they're all pretty decent. Just look at the size of some of those. You can see some that have been removed in previous winters there, perhaps others still preparing from the base, but really, what a plant. So green, so healthy. If that was in any one of our gardens, it literally would be a pride of place specimen plant. But as we head around a bit more, you'll see a plant that I know from bitter experience isn't possible for me. Maybe in some sheltered areas up north, but just look at this Phoenix canariensis. Incredible, isn't it? A mighty trunk on it. You can see the old inflorescences there. What a stunning palm. And here, as we see further round, there's some even bigger examples. In fact, let me show you this one over here. As the light dips down, just look at this, literally next to a roundabout. Probably the most green, healthiest example you'll ever see. Here, I'm guessing it receives absolutely no care whatsoever, but just look at that. A full head of leaves, all a beautiful green. Mine died in winter 22. Here, what winter? I think that's the bigger question. And just over there, in fact, behind that bus stop, there's literally Butia odorata growing just in the scrub alongside it. So it does seem that literally anything can survive here. But now, to show you some of the real specimens, we're going to head over there. Looking back, you can definitely see the exotic theme, can't you? The big phoenix over there, plenty more Trachycarpus on the roundabout. And then in that central reservation leading up there, there's all kinds of Chamaerops, phormiums, even the purple Cordyline australis that we saw flowering over there. I can't grow those at home, they won't survive our winters, but here, literally no problem at all. But as we head into Princess Gardens here, there's some fantastic specimens. For example, just look at this, towering Chamaerops. Really do look incredible against the monstrous plane trees behind. Got a beautiful Butia over there. And as we head through, you'll see silhouetted by the beautiful evening light. Just look at some of these Chamaerops. So green, so healthy. Those silvery undersides of the leaves just look beautiful, don't they? See there, the big wheel, the English Riviera wheel. A lot of new Cordyline planting over there. Some of the old ones do look quite old. Well, you'll see as we head through, some of them are literally on the last legs. But that cannot be said for this beautiful plant here. This Chamaerops humilis Mediterranean Dwarf Fan Palm. Just look how green and healthy this looks. It doesn't get much better than this, does it? Right on the coast, overhead shelter from the beautiful plane tree. And just look at it. What a specimen. Yes, they're slow growing. Yes, I treat them as sort of dwarf fan palms like they are. But when left to grow up like this over plenty of years, they really are just such a striking plant. So as we head further up this way, you'll see some plants that take it to the next level. The only question is, which way do we go first? Do we go along the actual front, or do we take you to the rock garden? No, we'll go to the rock gardens. Just off the busy main road then, we're here at the Royal Terrace. And this is pretty much a library of all the plants that I can't quite grow at home, along with some others that I can, but here they're displayed in such a beautiful way. As we head through, you'll see favourites like Trachycarpus fortunei, Acanthus mollis there, beautiful grasses. This isn't just a botanic garden, it really is just stunning public planting, especially on an evening like this. The sun shining strong there. It really makes so many of these plants like red hot pokers, Niphophilus down there, the lavender, the hollyhocks, and I've got to feature this steeper tenuissima up there, absolutely singing in the beautiful evening sun. Just look at that, incredible. So I guess this is pretty sort of Mediterranean in the scheme of things. Some real examples of beautiful exotic plants here. Just look at this old olive tree, absolutely gorgeous. And I do like the way with this one that they've actually let the main trunk grow. So rather than just literally being a lollipop on an old trunk, it's got this beautiful canopy. And I think that's what I'm going to do with mine. Really let some branches develop on it. It just looks stunning. You can see some echiums up there. They're finished flowering, but those beautiful towering spires still left, ready to spread the seed far and widen it out. And as we walk on this way, you'll see more young Cordylines planted. Beautiful summer flowers, and up in front the amazing silhouettes of more old Trachycarpus. But before we get to those, I've got to show you what's growing in here. Just get ready for these. Agave americana, grown here as a public plant. That really just rubs salt in the wound, doesn't it, for us northern gardeners? We struggle to grow these outside because our climate's just too wet. And down here, I think they've still got the same damp problems. It does rain a lot down here, and there's lots of salt blowing in from the coast. But despite that, the temperatures are mild enough that they can get through with minimal damage. That one really is just a monster. There's a few more here. Look at those there. Beautiful Agave americanas. Not without damage, but overall, very, very lovely plants, if lovely is the right term for those. It's probably a more appropriate term for these beautiful flowering Yucca gloriosa there. Lovely white flowers, just picking out on this background of dark spiky leaves. Trachycarpus here, they're just everywhere. Just so many of them around, isn't there? And I love the way the planting here is, we'll sort of say, formal mix with the informal. So you've got stunning specimens, like here, another very tall Chamaerops there, mixed in with Acanthus mollis, grasses, and up this side here, we've got our friend red valerian, conifers, pines. It really is such an eclectic but beautiful Mediterranean style of planting. Very drought tolerant, I imagine, and very capable of dealing with colder than average winter temperatures if they do happen, but also real summer heat and drought conditions as well. And if I peer into here, you'll see, I believe that's a Fuchsia, the rosettes there spreading around. And in fact, this is what gives it away. We've got two old flowering stems here. That one has only recently finished there. Got plenty of little bulbils there growing on it. And in fact, if you look, you can see, I wouldn't recommend this obviously, but each one of those can produce a new plant. The old one from last year still got plenty on, so obviously no one's taken advantage of that. But the main rosette itself is monocarpic, which means it dies, but it produces just hundreds of these amazing offspring to start off again and to continue the colony. A lovely plant, very similar to Yucca, but in fact the leaves of these are significantly softer. So although they look spiky, they're not quite as vicious. More agaves here. We've got the Agave americana over there, and this one, a stunning example of what could be marginata, but there is also Agave americana variegata, so I'm not entirely sure of the difference. I think it's something to do with where the stripes fall on the leaves, but either way, hardly any winter damage, just looking striking and incredible. As we head through here, I mean, just this is amazing, isn't it? Considering this is public planting, everyone can enjoy it here, tourists and residents alike. There really is so much to see. Now, it's not without its fault. As you can see there, that Washingtonia, that's definitely been struggling, which is a surprise because if you see over there, a little sneak peek at where we're going next, you'll see there's lots of palms that can grow here surprisingly well, but I wouldn't have thought that would show damage, but I guess on the plus side, it's survived without protection and it's growing strongly away, so that'll have plenty more green leaves by the end of summer. But as we head through further up this way, another beautiful Chamaerops there, spires of flowers, loads of vegetation. Before I share with you too much of what's going on down there, let's just look around this corner, because I think you'll love this. A beautiful evening now, probably the sunniest evening yet, so I had to take advantage and come out for a quick video now Harriet's asleep. I should say my wife is with her, I've not just left her. So as we push into here, you'll see a Trachycarpus there, beautiful green leaves against a red valerian behind, got all kinds of ivy and vegetation up there. But as we push through here, it's actually this section here which I want to show you first. I just love the planting here. So lush, a little bit more leafy than what we've seen previously. But again, it's just a mixture of conifers. We've got over there some of the hylotelethiums that used to be known as sedums. Mine aren't at this stage yet, so things are definitely a little bit further on down here. I guess really it's the way it's all presented. So as I pan out, you can see we've actually got a huge ravine up here. And a lot of these plants just look perfect nestled in here, don't they? Virginia creeper on the backdrop there, but they look sensational in autumn. Another glorious Chamaerops there, Cordylines, and some really ancient Trachycarpus here. Just look at these. Trachycarpus do grow very fast up to a point, and once they get to somewhere around there, they tend to slow down. So something like this here with a small crown, and the other way you can tell it's old is that the trunk has actually self-cleaned itself. So if you see my strip trunk Trachycarpus, this is essentially what they get naturally. They actually just lose all the fibre over time, leaving behind this grey faded trunk. And I think it looks incredible. Just look behind there, really towering Cordyline. In fact, that's probably the oldest and the healthiest I've seen around here. Another Agave Americana. So it's fair to say the plant in this area here, it's definitely Mediterranean, it's definitely exotic, it's definitely exciting. And to me, if you got this in a public area, seriously, what a place. Well done to all the gardeners and the councils involved who make the decisions that let things like this happen. But now we're showing you this part of the garden, it's time to head down towards the sea and show you some of the big palms over there. And when I say big, I mean big. Down here then, next to the water, you'll see, well, this is the planting that Torquay is really known for. Just look at the size of some of these Phoenix palms. Absolutely huge. Massive, great big trunks in them. You see why these aren't palms for small gardens, can you? Just look at the size of these. Absolutely massive, aren't they? Here, no winter, no problem. As green as you like, but I think they're a great example, really, of showing just how big they are. Each of the leaves is easily sort of 3.5, 4 meters long, maybe. Just ginormous palms. Absolutely stunning. Here, they're very much in the right place. There, we've got a bed. Lovely Yucca rostratas planted en masse. Pleased to see it. As we head further up this way, you'll see even more of these stunning Phoenix canariensis. Just look at some of these. Look at the size of that trunk. Well over a metre across. Well over a metre. Absolutely amazing, isn't it? It's hard to convey just the size of it. Really, such a special plant. And there, another one of the olives, surrounded there by agapanthus. It's really going to look stunning over the next couple of weeks. Huge great big palms, aren't they? Amazing to see. And there's plenty more up here. The Cordylines are, we'll say, in mixed health. There's some absolute beauties and others which are certainly struggling a fair bit. But as we head up here, you'll see, I mean, even more Yucca rostrata beds. The Agapanthus and Yuccas is definitely a repeated theme. Another massive Phoenix. Probably seeing there the inflorescence or the flowers from previous years. Just perfectly at home here. And it just shows really something that us in the north of England really struggle to grow. Well, we can baby little specimens, but really, once to get to this size, how are you realistically going to protect that? I know there's some brave people in Eastern Europe and on the continent that do protect them with full sort of polycarbonate boxes and heating, but really, when you see something this size, it's going to take some serious effort to protect it, isn't it? Another beauty there. It really is so just amazing to see them all. Huge, great big line of these giants, isn't it? Just doing so incredibly well down here on the south coast. Definitely a world apart from our sunny part of the world, North Lincolnshire. But heading up this way, we'll see even more. Along with a couple of Cordylines at the end, which are, I think it's fair to say, pretty much clinging on to life. Lovely olive there. Again, even more Agapanthus. I do like the way they've kept repeating their theme. They could have gone for really rare, genuinely subtropical plants, but instead, I think they've repeated the plants that they can just about grow. And here, they just look so splendid, don't they? Two more really bulky Phoenix specimens there. And another two there. I mean, seriously, what more could you want? We don't really have a chance of recreating this up in Cleethorpes, Skegness, Mablethorpe. But down here, it absolutely makes Torquay feel like Torquay, doesn't it? And I think there you can really see the one on the left is pretty much at what we'll call the pineapple stage, where they start to bulk up. It's not getting taller yet. And the one on the right, you can see that trunk has started motoring upwards. I don't actually know, should have done some research beforehand, how long these have been in the ground, but you can really see that they're continuing that planting. And I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to see what these look like when they get to real trunking specimens. You know, with trunks that are taller than that up there, huge canopy, those beautiful green leaves. What an exotic sight. But up here, I'll show you those Cordylines before we move on to the last part of today's journey. Across the road there. Yet another olive tree there, a magnificent specimen. Bet you're getting fed up of seeing them now, aren't you? And this is just one part of Torquay. But look at these here. How are these alive? That one there, pretty much hollowed out trunk. And over there, it has actually got a hole right in the middle of it. But still it's growing away. How? I don't know. They're still alive though, and that's what matters. But anyway, let's head further up this way. So we head towards Abbey Park. Just show you some of these. Again, beautiful Yucca rostratas. Outside, las iguanas. And up here, there's even more. Sun now going down. But it really has been a beautiful evening. As we walk further around, you'll see how good does this look. Repeated lavender, topiary, yuccas. Sensational. She's probably more like a Safely's Trachycarpus, but they're probably not the best palm for an area that is regularly buffeted with wind. But we'll head up here and see some plants which are doing exceptionally well. On the way, more towering agaves, huge Butia at the back there, Chamaerops, but it's over this way that I want to go and share with you some of these final plants as we finish our journey at Abbey Park. Heading into Abbey Park then, and you were confronted with this beautiful sight. We've got my old friends the Gunnerer here, front and foremost, but as we head round you'll see again the grasses, Stipa tenuissima, holding its own with any of the exotics, and over there, what a view. Anywhere that has yuccas planted en masse like that, look at all those rostratas over there, some beautiful big agaves, Butia, Phoenix, there's palms everywhere, isn't there? I mean, just look at the size of this huge Chamaerops. It's nearly as big as the ones over at Ventnor. Some of the biggest specimens I've seen over there. As we head round to culminate today's quick tour, you'll see some beautiful flowering Agapanthus there. And further round, I mean, the plant at this place really is incredible. Yes, not every single plant looks perfect, and some areas are obviously in the process of being spruced up, but Really, when you're somewhere that can grow plants like this, it's great to see people taking risks and actually growing those plants, isn't it? I believe those will actually be Chamaerops humilis volcano there. Very compact, very tight. Potentially compactor, but I expect that one to be volcano. And just heading through this area here. I mean, what a view. Let's just look at some of the plants in here, because it really deserves a close look at some of these amazing beauties. So we look down there, you'll see little moorhens scooting off. And I mean, just panning round, we've got Darzylirians over there. Really gorgeous serrated leaves, very sharp looking. A lot of those are from Mexico. In this section here, we've got a beautiful Agave americana, either variegata or alternatively marginata. We've got some echiums there, grown well. For agave fans, across there, as I brighten things up a little bit, we've got a Montana, a great agave for growing in the UK, very moisture tolerant. And here, that's actually the first one I've seen, so that one definitely deserves to be planted more. As you can see, it's pristine. We've got more central, next to the waterfall, which probably isn't the best place for an agave, but it's not working at the minute anyway. We've got a Media Picta alba. That one looks like it's been taken over by bindweed, so definitely a theme running across in my garden. But I think, I mean, if you're somewhere that can grow these things, it's just phenomenal to see them, isn't it? And there, look at that corner. How incredible does that look? Yes, it arguably needs a little bit of TLC, but a lot of these areas are just public areas, so I appreciate these days, costs being cut and everything. It is great to see the gardens maintained and so many of the exotic specimens are left, because they really are an absolute treat, a privilege to enjoy. As we look over this way, you'll see now the sun is just about to go down. The sky there, blue, the sun's golden touch slowly ebbing away. Chamaerops, huge great big Cordylines there. Across further onto the seafront, you'll notice more giant Phoenix canariensis. What a place. I hope you've enjoyed seeing this little taster of the incredible exotic planting and really what is possible without care, without intervention, right on the south coast of our beautiful country. Yes, it doesn't quite have the shelter and microclimate of Ventnor, which is probably about 5 degrees more mild than even a place like this, but really keeping those cold winters away, it really shows you what is possible here in the UK. And as we finish the video, I've literally just noticed a huge Montana that I missed the first pan round. How good does that look? In fact, that deserves a closer look, doesn't it? If I can get one, that is. I think I was so fixated on the palms that I missed this absolute stunner growing here. And it's quite hard to see it. But there, look at that. Pristine, untouched by winter, hardly any blemish at all. In fact, none. What a stunning plant. What a view, what a place. So I hope you've all enjoyed this quick look round some of my plant highlights of the area of Torquay where we're staying. Hope you all had a great weekend, and I'll see you all very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.
We can't predict the future.